My name is Jordan Walker. I am 35 years old. I'm from the United States of America. And my story goes a little like this. I was, for a decade, more than a decade of my life, suffering from a chronic degenerative condition, which went misdiagnosed by teams of specialists that were reviewing my specific case. It wasn't until 2007 that I ended up into the hospital. And while I was in the hospital, teams of doctors were trying to figure out what was going on. I was going through each of the specialties, a gastroenterologist, neurologist, endocrinologist, all trying to put their heads together to figure out why I was having these symptoms, why I was losing so much weight, why I was having so much difficulty. And I was basically in a hospital bed with symptoms such as my hands would move in, I'd shake, I had neurological complications, I had blurred vision, I had slurred speech, I had something called bradycardias where the heart beats too slow. I also had episodes of what's called supraventricular tachycardia where the heart would skyrocket out of control. I had a condition known as the facial palsy where the face would droop. Basically, it was a very miserable time. I had a lot of pains and aches all over the body, and my muscles were wasting away, and I really had this constant shaking, constant moving around, constant shaking. The teams really couldn't figure out exactly what was going on. They put me in the machine, and after about 10 minutes while they were looking at the heart, something began to happen where my heart started to beat out of control. I felt this pressure in my chest, and I passed out. I woke up, and I couldn't move. I couldn't move my arms, I couldn't move my legs, I couldn't move my fingers. On top of everything that I had already been going through, and now I can't move my arms, my legs, my muscles, this was really, for me, the rock bottom moment. I really started searching within myself to try to find an answer to why I was going through all this difficulty. And the question I began to ask was, why me? Why this suffering? Why this pain? And I started to question my faith. I started to say, well, if there is a God, why so much suffering? Why so much pain? Why me? I'm such a good person. I'm good to people. I'm nice. But meanwhile, I have to go through this. Just to say that I had, before this incident, before this process in my body, I had everything going for me. Good job, nice wife, family about to begin, everything was going for me, and all of a sudden my life completely collapsed, and here I am in a hospital bed at the worst possible moment in my life asking, why me? It took about 24 to 48 hours for me to come back into a movement where I could start to feel my hands, I could start to feel the fingers again, I could start to move my body again. During this time that I was coming back into my body, I noticed that there was a presence in the room. I felt like somebody was standing there by the bed. And at first when I felt this, and I could literally almost look to my left and see that there was somebody standing there, I said, okay, now I've lost it. Now not only am I sick, but I'm completely crazy. And not only am I crazy, but they're going to lock me up in some sort of mental institution. Now they're going to have to bring in the psychiatrist, the psychologist. This is hit rock bottom over here. Well, I noticed his presence was there, and I felt it. And while I was sitting there the night before asking why me, for some reason, I had this change of focus. No longer about why me, but rather to that, okay, maybe this suffering, maybe this pain, maybe this torture that I'm going through at this particular point in my life while I'm in this hospital and going through this, maybe this is an experience that's here to provide me with some type of insight. Maybe there's a bigger lesson here. Maybe there is some type of gift in this experience for me that I need to be able to see it. And as soon as I said that word gift, I felt this vibration coming through my feet, and I felt it moving up my legs, and I felt it rising up through my body, up to my head. And something was happening to me. I was going through something. Now, for anyone that knows, you're in a hospital, and this was at nighttime, you could hear crickets. There's really nobody there except for maybe one person on the floor that's, you hit your call button, he'll come by and say, hey, what's going on, in case there's an emergency. But at night in the hospital, it's quiet, and you have a lot of time to think, you have a lot of time to reflect, and you have a lot of time to really look at your surroundings and see where you are. There's only so much TV you can watch. Well, this energy comes through my body, and I'm feeling it very strongly, and I could hear in my ears as if somebody is speaking to me. And what I can hear them saying is that now you are starting to learn. You are now on the right path. And this is the message that was coming to me. And when I heard this message, it began what I believe is a process, a change, a transformation, like a caterpillar to a butterfly.